Chair, and thank all of you for being here, especially the mayors. I was a mayor in another life, and I know what a challenging position it can be, and I appreciate your interest in this. And having said that, I'll start with you, Ms. Wallace, since you're the only non-mayor on the panel. Ms. Wallace, in your testimony, you say we will benefit from the rich history of multi-jurisdictional cooperation, pulling from the unique strengths of our federal partners and other public and private stakeholders. What are the unique strengths of the federal government that they can bring to governments like yours, or partnerships like yours, I should say?
Thank you for that question. So on the Upper Miss, we were previously, UMRBA was a federal state commission, and we were born from that. And so we had this underlying history since the 1970s of working in a very tight partnership between the federal agencies and the states. Our federal agencies range from the Army Corps of Engineers, which with its engineering of the river system, also its ecological restoration program. We have the Fish and Wildlife Service, which offers its unique role in terms of wildlife management, ecological processes, FEMA with its role on hazard planning and response, as well as US EPA with oil spill response planning and mapping. And then with USGS, their science research arm, NOAA, National Weather Service, with both its integrated drought planning and resources, and then also its forecasting prediction capabilities and understanding of the history of climate in the Upper Miss. So all of that together is fantastic.
Okay, well, let me ask you this then. When is the federal government an obstacle or a burden to you?
Sometimes when each agency might have their own perspective for how things go forward, but as within any family, you might have disagreements here or there or challenges for moving forward, but we strive to overcome those. Again, one that I've highlighted earlier is the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers project partnership agreements. If those could be more shared in terms of their liability, we would have far more and faster, I think more efficient agreements between the Corps and the non-federal sponsors.
Okay. Well, you emphasized in your testimony how different communities are linked and the need for a shared vision for resiliency. And I want to thank you for that, because I agree, and I believe that Representative Palmer was the one who pointed out how important resiliency is. Representing the entire coast of Georgia, I can tell you that we need to build up our resiliency. There's no question about that, and that is not a partisan issue, so it's very important. Thank you, Ms. Wallace. Mayor Bottoms, I wanted to ask you, you've committed Atlanta to 100% renewable clean energy by 2035. And I know that in Los Angeles that they've committed to be 100% by 2045. And en route to that in LA, in Los Angeles, they've had rolling blackouts as a result of depending on renewable energy that has turned out not to be as dependable. And we all understand the concerns of that. Now, excuse me, but as a Georgian, I'm very proud of what we've done. We're in the top 10 in solar energy. We've got the only nuclear reactor. We'll find this hard to believe, but we're the #1 forestry state in the country, and we serve as carbon sinks. But how are you going to achieve this 100% renewable by 2035 and avoid these rolling blackouts?
Well, thank you for the question. We have been very thoughtful in our planning with this. And in fact, we had an earlier deadline to achieve this goal, and we extended the deadline because we wanted to make sure that we were thoughtful. A huge part of that has been working with our utility partners, making sure that Georgia Power has been a part of this discussion, because we want to make sure that as we work to achieve that goal, that it's beneficial for all of our communities. And so if that means that we have to further extend the deadline, which I certainly hope we will not have to do, but if we have to do that to make sure that we get it right, we will certainly do that and continue to have at the table front and center our utility partners to make sure that it's achievable.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Bottoms. And again, thank all of you on the panel for this important discussion. And Madam Chair, I'll yield back.
Madam